people, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. I live a whole food, plant exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle, which helped me get my life back. And sos stands for salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar-free, and gluten-free. And it changed my life, and it can change your life too. So I wanted to bring you along and show you how I take these beautiful white oyster mushrooms and turn them into a barbecue delight. Let's go. So I was at my farmer's market recently, and they sell all kinds of mushrooms at one of the stands there. And I bought these, and they're called white pearl oyster mushrooms. I've done blue oyster mushrooms, and these are just another variety. They have so many different kinds at my farmer's market. So anyways, today I thought I would try a technique that I recently learned about and see if we can make them taste and look amazing and not really like mushrooms. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have us use my cast iron pan. Now, I recently did a whole live, that's a replay. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in my conversation about iron consumption and, you know, keeping our iron stores up, check it out, I'll link it above. But I, since then, have been thinking, you know what, I really want to make something using the cast iron pan. Now, I don't use oil, so in the past, when I did use oil and I would use this pan, I would use oil in it. But let's try and see if we can get these mushrooms to cook up in the cast iron pan and not burn or stick. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is turn the fire on, and I wanna get my pan really, really hot. Now, with cast iron, the handle can get really hot, and it's been such a while since I've used it that I kind of forgot about that till now. And I do have one of those covers for the handle, so let me grab it. Here it is, and so I could just put the handle in right there. I'm not gonna leave it on there since it's cloth. If you don't have one of those and you have a cast iron pan, go ahead and just make sure that, you know, if you like use a towel or something, that it's just, you know, nowhere near the flame, and you'll be fine. If you don't have a cast iron pan, you could certainly do this in a non-stick pan. I'm just trying it this way just because of the reasons I mentioned. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that the pan is hot. And I also want to get out some extra tools. And how do I do that? Well, I have a little water here, and I kind of feel it feels pretty hot. I'm just going to splash a little bit on here. Well, that did not bubble up the way I wanted it to, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do with these. Now, these mushrooms, I'm going to go ahead and cook them, and then we're going to bake them. I don't know if you can hear that, but if you could check that out, look at that. That tells me the pan is actually nice and hot. So, you know, at this point, if I were using oil, I would add the oil, but I'm not using oil because I know that oil is going to harm me internally. And so, anyways, here I go. I'm going to go ahead and take these, and I'm going to put them, let's see, which way should I put them? We'll put them facing this way so that the top smooth part is on the pan. And some of these bigger ones are nice. Now, I didn't really have much to cut, but sometimes there is like a big piece right here, like a stalk, and you might want to cut that down a little bit, just so, but not too much, because this one's kind of falling apart, and that's what I meant by that. I don't really have a lot of those, but here, for example, I just want to show you on this one. See how it's like a stem? It's like the solid part. So sometimes you can see like some black or wherever it was attached. You could just cut that off and leave these pieces, and then this way it will cook that's the thickest part. So you want that to cook down, and then it kind of holds it together. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to keep the pan on high, and I want to move it around a little bit because there isn't any oil. Now, I am going to also put another pan on top of it because I want to try to get the liquid to come out. Now, what if you don't have another pan? If maybe you have a brick. I used to use a brick. I might even still have a brick. And it was just an extra brick that we had, and I just used to cover it in tin foil. I'm not really a big fan of putting tin foil now on my food, but hey, I could cover it in tin foil and then like put a piece of parchment paper to line it. So whatever you find that's safe to put on top to give it a little pressure will just help kind of get the natural liquids out of the mushrooms. Now I got to check that handle too. And the other thing is, look at that, the steam and the water, it's going to come kind of make a mess. So I'm just going to want to keep this as long as I can dry. Now I'm also going to preheat my oven because we are going to be cooking it. So I'm going to put it at 400 degrees and just let that preheat. And I'm going to go ahead and check this out. Let's make sure none of this is sticking. I just want to make sure, because we're not using oil, that it's still moving around, which it is. Some of this is a little sticking. Let me see if I can use a different tool. A small spatula, that seems great. And I just want to get it so that it's not sticking. And I think that it is sticking so quickly because these are thinner mushrooms. Lion's mane maybe wouldn't do this because it's a thicker mushroom and it would really have to, do its thing. There we go, look at that. Yeah, just making sure that it's not sticking, but that it's moving. Now, what can I do? Even though I don't need to add water, I could put a little water in here if I want to keep it going, because I do want this to cook up. So the thing is, it's not going to take very long at all. Now I can already smell the mushrooms, and they smell amazing. Oh my gosh, and it hardly has been any time. So again, I just want to wipe down the bottom. I don't know about you, but I just love mushrooms. Now, my husband is not a big mushroom fan, but I'm hoping to get him to enjoy them a little bit more if I can. And maybe this will be the way, right? So check this out. How does that look to you? Look, it's not sticking because I'm moving it around. And like I said, if it is a little sticking, if it is sticking a little bit, I just kind of scrape it up, and then I can add a little bit of water. Now, how much water? A teaspoon, a tablespoon at the most. It would just be to generate moisture, kind of like a steam type thing, not to really cook it. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this down here again. This is so exciting. So I'm going to check it one more time, and then I think what we'll do is we'll check to see if the underside is browning up a little bit, then we'll be able to flip it over. Now, one thing that I really like to do when I'm cooking mushrooms is kind of give them their own space. So I don't really want to stack them. I kind of, I may have a little bit when we first started because I didn't have enough room, but the idea is to make sure that as they release their moisture and they get smaller, that they have their own space, because then the browning and the cooking will be even, and you won't have something on the top that, isn't as brown or the way that you want it. I'm always checking the handle on this one because I don't want it to get, it to get hot on me. So let's check these again. Oh yeah, look at that. It's moving. It's not sticking. I am so impressed. Isn't this great? It is wonderful to be able to cook without oil. And that is something that I just love. There you go. So I'm going to say that this looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to just turn the heat down just while I'm doing this. I'm going to put my little handle on here and turn it around so I have better control. And I'm just going to try to see how this is looking. Look at that. This is looking great. It's browned up. Oh, this one's okay. Yep, this one's doing good too. Look at all of that. Even these little tiny babies. Now, of course, the bigger pieces, the better. See how this one flipped? And I didn't get that brownish. So I could turn that one back over, but let's keep going. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yay! Look! Who says you need oil to make things golden? You don't. And so now kind of what I want to do is bring everything in, because it's shrunk up. I just want to bring everything in so that when I put the pan back on, it will have a real good chance of getting on all of it. Now, you don't have to do this. I'm going to add some no salt seasoning. This is in Mrs. Dash's container, but it isn't Mrs. Dash. I just refill this with a no salt seasoning. This one is probably from Costco. You can use any no salt seasoning you'd like. You don't even have to do this. You could put some pepper, or you could put some fresh garlic, or you could put nothing. But I want to do it after I flip it over, because the stuff that's on the edge will probably burn. So let me go ahead and check this pan. Let's go ahead and put this back on, turn the flame back up, and we're just going to cook this just a little bit longer. And then we are going to be able to be ready to coat it in some barbecue sauce. Now, if you haven't seen my barbecue sauce recipe, you've got to check it out and give it a try. I'll link it above, and I'd love for you to give me some feedback on it. But we're going to be using that today. So let's take this off again. Check the handle, don't burn. See, it's still a lot of moisture coming from the mushrooms, which is great. I think they might just about be done. Let's just check. Maybe just a little bit more. I just want a little bit more brown. But I also want to make sure that they're not sticking. And they're not. This is great. Now, I don't know about you. People talk about seasoning the pan when they're done. Yes, you can season your pan. I don't know. I mean, I'm so brand new to using a cast iron pan when I'm not using oil, but maybe if you, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. What would I use? I think for me, I'm probably just gonna try my best to just keep it really dry after I clean it. But I think if I was gonna use anything, I don't know. What I'm thinking is flaxseed oil, but that doesn't have a high burn. So anyways, whatever you think is right for you, that's what you should do. And I don't even know what's right for me in terms of cleaning my cast iron pan. So let's get back to cooking instead. I think this is doing pretty well. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this flame off. That did not take long at all, not at all. So the first thing I want to do is I want to coat it. And I want to coat it in a pan. I was thinking I was going to use this to coat it in, but I think I'm going to use something else. So hang tight for a second. I think instead it'll be better done in a square pan. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm literally going to just put some barbecue sauce on the bottom. This was just a little bit that I had left over, but this barbecue sauce here, the homemade barbecue sauce, yum, yum, yum. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and just kind of coat the bottom so that I can get the underside. But however you want to coat the mushrooms, because we're not cooking them in here. We're just coating them in here. So however that works for you. Now this is where it's gonna get tricky, because I think what I'll do is just bring you over here and let's grab these pieces and take a look. Oh, look at that. See, this is so wonderful. And I have the flame off. But do you see how thin it gets? So if you like a thicker, meatier kind of bite, then you might want to use a different kind of mushroom, like lion's mane. But for us, for right now, we're just gonna do this. Look at, I'm just gonna put this aside. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Okay, I get very excited. So let me just coat these a little bit. Da, 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 da. Ooh, ooh, I love it, love it, love it. And I've got this special little silicone brush. You can just even use a kitchen spoon, whatever. Just coat it, coat it, coat it. You want it nice and coated on both sides. Don't be afraid to use as much barbecue sauce as you want. Now, if you don't, didn't know about my recipe or you didn't have time, use any barbecue sauce that you like. And of course, you want to make sure that it's one that you like, because if you don't like it, well, that's the flavor you're getting. So keep that in mind. Oh my goodness, isn't this amazingly looking so yummy? So I still have one more piece on the side here, but what I'm gonna do, well, look at this. Look what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna coat this baby. Ah, I love it, love it, love it, love it. Doesn't that look good? So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And please give this a thumbs up. It really helps me to spread the word and share with others what I do to keep my health and inspire you to improve yours. So if you have already subscribed, I want to again thank you so much for being a subscriber to my channel. It really means a lot to me. And if you want to chat, well, leave a comment or a question or anything that you want in the chats, in the comments below, and I will get back to you. So here we go. Look at this. What do you think? Not too shabby. Looks like barbecue, maybe even looks kind of like a barbecue chicken or a barbecue, I don't know. What do you think this looks like? Well, regardless, it's gonna taste delicious and it's mushrooms. So I went ahead and took a small pan, because I have a small amount here, but you could use a cookie sheet with a Silpat or whatever. I happen to line this with parchment paper, and that is safe for me to put in the oven. And now I'm just literally going to put these without having them touch each other, next to each other. Look at this. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so good. And I can pair this with anything, right? I don't have any like corn on the cob, but wouldn't that be delicious in a gigantic side salad, or any kind of steamed veggies with the salad? I'm thinking broccoli even. What do you like? What would you put? What are you gonna put with yours, right? You know what else? I know what Todd would like. I'm betting that maybe he would want to dress this up in kind of like some kind of a sandwich, and have a bun with some tomato and maybe a little lettuce and pickles or whatever he likes. He tends to like mustard, but I don't know with barbecue. Anyways, sky's the limit. So I just want to make sure that this is, oh see, there was a little piece there. And we just want to make sure that everything looks like that. All right, so let's take one more look. Here it goes. I'm going to stick it in the oven. Now I'm putting it in for 15 minutes. Your oven may be hotter than mine. Mine doesn't calibrate correctly. I have it set on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You could certainly do it at 375 or 400, but as far as how long to cook it, check it every 5 minutes, especially if it's this thin and it's this type of mushroom, because it will burn. All we want to do, because it's cooked already, is just kind of let the sauce kind of, not caramelize, but just kind of get in there, get in all the nooks and crannies and just make it taste delicious. Now, if you're using a different kind of mushroom, like lion's mane, which is like a thicker one, then of course you can give it a little more time. So we'll be right back as soon as it's ready to be checked on. Okay, so it's not quite 15 minutes. It's a couple minutes before, but I'm smelling it and I don't want it to burn, so let's check it together. Oh, wow. That looks really good. Can you guys see that? That looks amazing. Okay, let me get my little, whatever you call this, I forget, and put this down so that everyone can see. And now the idea here is to make sure that it looks, you know, not super dry and burnt, but you kind of want the sauce and everything to be absorbed. Now, could we go a little longer? We could, but no, I think this is good. Check it out. Now, we could turn it over. I did not turn it over. Oh, looks great. Okay, and look at how it's not sticking. So basically, we are going to plate it and taste it. Oh my gosh. And in order to do that, I kind of have this plate ready to go here. I was thinking, you know, what would Todd like if he were going to have it? Like a barbecue sandwich. And then what would I like, and where's the combination or the middle ground? So I have spinach salad here with some chopped onions and tomato. He likes these jalapeno peppers. I usually, you know, kind of stay away from that unless it's fresh or something. But once in a great while, right, because there's salt. And then I've got lime, so I can bring that out. And these, if you're wondering, these are radish sprouts. Yum, yum, yum. And then I've got sliced oranges. So you could do this on bread and build it up like a sandwich if you have enough. But we're just going to slice it up on the side. So let me put that aside for right now. And let me just take this whole thing off. You know, this is like a sample size, right? So if you're going to go to all the trouble, you want to make sure that you have plenty. But I was just sharing with what we had. Okay, so let me take this off and just set it right here. Oh, I love this. Look, look, look. Just want to make sure that I don't tear it. You can see that it's not brown. I mean, you know, burnt. And that's what I kind of wanted to avoid. Look, look, look. Yum, yum, yum. Wow. Okay, this little guy right here. Oh my goodness. Delishy. Well, it looks that way. I hope it tastes delishy after all that. Let's just get this off. And that's another great thing, right? Do you see how easy it is to get this right off of the parchment paper? Parchment paper is great because it, you know, nothing sticks to it. I mean, and cleanup is super simple. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just slice this up a little bit. Let me see if I stack it. I don't know, just because it's thin. Let's just try it. Maybe not a good idea. And here, little crunchy bits at the end. And there you have it. Look at that. That looks nice, doesn't it? So if you wanted, you could add a little more barbecue sauce on top of it. I am going to just go ahead and plate this. Looks good. Now I could put it on the side here, you know, and line it up. But I kind of have another thought about just moving this more into the center and then putting this right on top. Okay, there we go. What do you think about that? I like that. And then I can just move the orange slices. Oh, pretty, okay. And then of course, if you want more barbecue sauce or a different kind of dressing, you could even do like a cashew-based creamy dressing or a bean-based creamy dressing if you wanted for the salad. And I'm just gonna go ahead, just put just a dash on top of some more barbecue sauce. But another thing you could do is we could get one of these little cups like this. Like this. And this is not a really good scooper. Let me get a spoon. And just have a little side of barbecue sauce so that if somebody wants to add a little bit more, whether they're having it with a hamburger bun, you know, or bread, or just like a salad, it's kind of right here and they can dip in it or whatever. Okay, so before we get tasting, I just want to tell you how quickly how I cleaned this, because I went ahead and cleaned it. And so for me, I went ahead and put this on the handle and I brought it to the sink. And I have this special tool that's meant for cast iron. And I put it kind of not filling it with water, but this way, put the water in there, scrubbed it out, and dried it out. And then I put it back here and I turned the flame on until it was completely dry. That's how I'm gonna do it. How are you gonna do it? Let me know in the comments. So back to what's more important is tasting this delicious stuff. I'm gonna have Todd come in here and taste it with me because I love mushrooms and he doesn't. So let's see what we both think about it. And then maybe that will help you figure out what works for you. Todd, come on in, sweetheart, if you would. Hey.
Hi.
So, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? What have we got here?
Yeah. So we have these are barbecued mushrooms.
Yes.
And I was talking about using them in place of like a meat, like if you were going to have a hamburger
I've heard of that.
or sandwich
Yep.
or something like that, or even sliced meats.
Yep.
And so I know we don't have it in a burger situation like with the bun or with the bread,
Right.
which I'm guessing would be the way that you would.
Potentially, yeah.
So anyways, I've got some extra barbecue sauce here. Here's some pieces here. You can have it with the salad. Let's try it together.
Okay.
And give everybody your feedback.
I'm gonna start.
That's a little bit of a crunchy piece.
It looked fun.
Yeah, it's
so
calling you.
Okay, I'm gonna just try just the mushroom.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one with you. Oh, you already went. Okay.
It's okay.
I'm gonna get one that's a little bit softer.
Wow, you're going all in. Okay.
Yeah. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Let me try a different one that's a little softer.
Yeah, try here. Here, try this one right here.
That one right there?
Yeah. Oh, this is good. I like this. I could eat like a big bowl of this. What do you think? Now you're just having it plain. So if you don't like it, that's fine, but I'd love to hear what you think. And maybe you like it with, this had a little more sauce
It's
on
interesting.
it. So you could
I think I would probably put more barbecue sauce.
Here.
If for no other reason because I'm not a fan of mushrooms and it makes the mushroom taste go away.
Oh, really? You can taste a strong mushroom taste?
I can taste a tanginess.
Okay, what could I say? Yeah? Is it the sauce or is it just in your head? Like if I told you...
It may be just in
if
my
I
head.
told you it was something
with some
else.
of the voices. And
No, if you picture this to be something else, is the flavor still the same?
I wasn't picturing it to be anything.
Oh, all right, well.
So, no, so it's got... so the texture, it's... and this is from my very limited experience of mushrooms. It's got a typically, kind of a chewy mushroom texture to it.
Yeah, it does.
There is a different flavor to it.
Oh, really? I'm going to cut this one up a little more. Go ahead.
Like I said, there's kind of this, twang in there.
Do you think it's the sauce? Because mushrooms typically don't have a twang flavor to them.
I don't know if it's the sauce. So, I've tried the sauce.
Try it without the sauce.
I tried it without the sauce.
I think it's great.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I really like it. And I do taste that tanginess.
Somebody's got lunch.
And I think that tanginess is the sauce.
Well, let's try.
So maybe you would use a different sauce. This is our homemade sauce.
Yeah. See, I don't think it's a sauce.
No, it's the mushrooms?
I think it's something in the mushroom.
Okay, so tell her.
Because when I add more sauce, I don't taste it.
Oh, I see.
So the sauce drowns it out.
Okay, all right.
So it may be something in the cooking or, in the process.
So honestly, I would
bad.
like a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and you just whatever a sideways. I love it. I love it, and I'm going to give it a double thumbs up. I thought it was really delicious. I hope you guys try it. Try different mushrooms. It could be the type of mushroom too.
Very possibly.
That could. We should do this again with lion's mane.
Let's try different mushrooms.
No, I want to do it with lion's mane at some point. I think that it's a thicker mushroom, and
why don't we do get a whole bunch of different mushrooms and do it all at once, and then we can compare mushrooms.
Oh, he's giving me a lot of work. Okay, well, anyways, thank you so much for hanging in with us. We hope you give this a try. Let us know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to eat your greens and give plants a chance. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.